Hi guys, welcome back to the NLP4Kids channel. I'm here with you today to firstly wish you a very Merry Christmas. But secondly, I wanted to do a bit of a review of the last 12 months in terms of all things NLP4Kids. By the way, if you don't know me, I'm Gemma. I'm the boss around here. So that also means I get to take responsibility for all of the things that I'm about to tell you about. Now, this year we had a couple of really big objectives with NLP4Kids. One was to get the basement refurbished so that we would have an additional working space for our practitioners to access and also for us to share with the local community. The second thing that we wanted to achieve was using our new not-for-profit company, Superheroes. We had set a goal to get our practitioners into 50 schools throughout the UK before the end of the year. Let me give you a ton of excuses as to why neither of those things actually ended up happening. First of all, let's talk about the basement. We set up a crowdfunding page so that we could begin to raise the funds that would pay for the refurbishment. We needed somewhere between £36,000 and £40,000 to get the job done. So with our crowdfunding page, we splashed it all over our social media, sent it out to our database. We talked about it in as many different places as we could. And I have to say an enormous thank you to Paul Schrager, Lee Milnes, Shaman Fitzgibbon, Danyada and Anonymous. Actually, Anonymous was me. I put £100 into our own crowdfunding just to kind of kickstart things, so maybe I'm saying thank you to myself here as well. In total, those people very generously helped us raise £270. Now, that £270 is fantastic, but not going to complete the job of getting the basement refurbished. We were a long way off. And as such, I decided that I would need to raise the funds in some other ways. So I myself became an NLP4Kids practitioner and, not for the first time, went out to school to deliver the work that we do. In fact, I went out to 4 schools this year in order to raise the funds that were required to get the basement job completed. Now, of course, being out in schools is fantastic. However, the downside is it meant that I was not in my office for almost 4 months this year, and I still have some of the work to complete next year as well. That said, it has got the funds together that we needed for the basement work to get completed. There are still some delays in regards to the basement. For one thing, Hertfordshire County Council haven't yet sorted out the drainage problem, which means that we still have a leaky basement. However, I've now started to see the council, got the local MP on board, and we're finally starting to get somewhere. I don't want this video to be about a ton of excuses, but unfortunately it is going to be a ton of excuses. Because the other major thing that we wanted to get done this year was using our not-for-profit company Superheroes. We had made a guarantee that we would get our practitioners into 50 schools throughout the UK during the course of this year. Unfortunately, we did not achieve that either. In fact, we only got our practitioners into 27 schools throughout the UK, and part of the reason why that didn't happen was because I wasn't here to do enough of the work. I was in school myself getting the money to get the basement done. However, there was another complication on a personal level for me. Many of you know that my mum has frontal temporal dementia, otherwise known as Pick's disease, and around this time last year I discovered that she had got herself into a bit of a financial pickle. So a big chunk of my time this year went into dealing with lots of debts, doing 2 different power of attorneys, and also taking over as deputy for my sister who has special needs. Now, the upside is that both of their finances are now straight and everything legally is completely taken care of. There was definitely a huge silver lining to that cloud, necessarily where I wanted to spend my time and energy this year, and it's been a huge piece of work just to get my own life in order. So with that in mind, I'm not really beating myself up too much about the fact that we didn't achieve our goals this year, because it really wouldn't have worked out too well if I'd have made sure that everybody else was okay before I'd got my own stuff in order, and it was really important that I got those things in order this year. It does mean that next year we can really go big. You know, next year we can really go for it, getting our practitioners out there and making sure that as many schools as possible are able to access access the fantastic work that our practitioners do. Now, as I said, we did get into 27 schools this year, and all of that work was completely funded by the work of superheroes or via us helping schools to get access to funding, so that none of the work that we did came out of their budget, and that's a really good thing. So despite the feedback, I do have some good news, and that is that this year the grand total for what NLP4Kids and superheroes combined were able to raise for schools so that their children could access mental health and well-being workshops and sessions was £245,000. So that's not too shabby. And I think that on that basis, we can all have a very Merry Christmas. I'm really looking forward to working with you all in 2018, so watch this space because there's gonna be some big stuff coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Bye for now.